Hello and welcome to our ab series. Today, I had a nice little warm up this morning when this spider spawned from above, and all of a sudden I felt unsafe. So I had to leave, I had to regroup, and I had to restart. Anywho, hello, we're back, and we're going to use the ball today. If you have a Pilates ball, feel free to grab it or grab a pillow, or you don't need either one. Truly, you'll still have a great time. But let's go on ahead and get into that plank position. But before we do that, we're going to take a couple cat cows to get a little stretch going. So take a couple breaths, get in that head space to go into the plank, and then we're going to go down into the low plank, and we'll hold there for 30 seconds. And then from that 30 seconds, we'll come straight up into a high plank. Here we go, down, and we're going to extend the feet back to begin that low hold. And then we'll go into the high plank. But while you're here, go on ahead and let's set a good intention for our workout. Let's kind of think about our headspace, where we're at, our body, our breath. Let's make sure we're not, holding too much tension in our headspace or in our neck and our shoulders. Let's find some space. And in just a second, we'll come up to that high plank and we'll go into those in and out toe taps. We'll tap the right foot out and in and the left foot out and in. So here we go. We're going to come on up and get started with that and alternating those feet. And at the end of this 30-second interval, we will spread those feet wide. This will give you a little bit more stability. And then we're going to go into alternating shoulder taps. So you'll take your right hand across your body to tap your left shoulder and your left hand across your body to tap your right shoulder. And we are almost there in just a moment. And once we get that started, we'll only have 30 seconds left in this motion. So let's spread those feet wide. Let's get into those shoulder taps. Here we go. Make sure you're breathing. Find that head and neck space. Find a good stability in your body. There will be a little bit of movement here, but just try to keep it as still as possible and make that mostly coming from those arms. Keep that core nice and still. And at the end of this, we're going to come to a down dog. I know you're going to be tempted to drop, but trust me, let's try some controlled restorative rest. So in just a second, we will find that down dog position. Here we go. And find your breath at your pace. We can take one together here. And we're going to go out and find that up dog position. Wiggle it out. Find a little child's pose. And we'll hang out here for just a second, and then we'll go into some bridging. So if you have a Pilates ball, this will be a great time to grab that. And if you're going to use a pillow from your house, you can also use that here. The pillow or the ball will just go in between your legs, and it's going to give you some more activation in those inner thighs when you're doing those bridging or when you're doing the bridges. So we'll come on our backs. We'll get that in a good position right in between those legs, plant those feet on the ground, and we'll, position ourselves, do a little wiggle, do a little lift, lower, reposition, find yourself. And then in just a second, we'll find our lift and lower, and we're going to go for 5, and we're going to pulse at the top for 5. So here we go. We're going to find that lift up for 1 together. And, well, when's she going to go? There she goes. Up for 1 and down and back up for 2 and down and up for 3 and back down and up for 4 and down, and we'll meet at the top for 5 and pulse in and up. Bring those butt cheeks in and up and pulse those knees in, and then we'll come back down. We'll do that again. So if your pulse was off, don't worry. You have the opportunity to recover. It was probably my fault anyway. So we'll take a little beat, take a breath, and then we'll go on ahead and get into those lift and lowers, and we'll go for 5 and pulse for 5. So we'll find that first lift. Oh, I love how this is me, but sometimes you just never know. Lift for 1 and back down and up for 2 and back down and up for 3 and back down, up for 4, and we'll bring it back down. And when we come up for 5, bring those butt cheeks up and bring those knees in and pulse for 3, 2, 1, and we'll bring it back down. And then in just a second here, you can go on ahead and ditch that ball for a moment. If you have a ball, keep it around. If you have a pillow, just go on ahead and ditch that pillow. But we'll take a little breath, and then we're going to go into our next set of exercises. We'll do 20 seconds of in and outs, extend our right leg, come across to the left knee, and then we'll do those in and outs again, extend the left leg, come across to the right knee, and we'll go back to those in and outs, and then we will take a rest. Yes. A minute and 40 seconds of movement is what we are heading into. If you would like to bring your hands up to get a little bit more core activation, here we go. But let's find those in and outs together. Tabletop legs, we're going in and out. And if you want to bring your hands up and your eyes to your abs, just make sure that you're not bringing your shoulders all up in your ears. Find that space, find your breath. And if you need to bring your head down to, do that, that's okay. But we're going to bring our hands behind our head and we're going to crunch across the body going to the left knee. We have our right leg extended and we're going for that crunch. We have 20 seconds here. And at the end of this 20 seconds, we'll go back to those in and outs for 20 more seconds. And we are almost there. You have a couple more crunches and we're back to those in and outs. All right. And back to what I was saying, if you want to drop your head so that way you can find that space and bring those arms down for a moment, feel free to do so. That's way more important than that little additional ab engagement. But in just a second, whichever leg you had extended, we'll extend the other leg up into the air. Here we go. And we're going to crunch across the body. So I have my left leg extended, my right leg bent, and I'm crunching across with my left elbow to my right knee. Wow, that was so impressive. Me and my lefts and my rights are not always that great. But anywho, we are crunching. And in just a second, we'll go back to those in and outs and we'll be there for 20 more seconds. And then you will be done with this set of movement. Yes, we are at the last set of this little sprint. Let's finish strong. Find your breath, find your beat. Maybe speed it up, maybe slow it down, maybe just don't stop. That's the key here. Just don't stop. But now you can stop because you can drop your feet. You can bring your knees to your chest. You can find your breath, find a little beat, find a moment. And then we're going to find some bird dogs. So if you have a Pilates ball, you have the option here to stick it under your ground hand for your bird dog. And that will give you a little bit more of a stability challenge. If you don't have a ball, and if you do have a ball and you don't want to do that, and you're like, hey, that just sounds like way too much extraness, who wants to do all that? I get it. You don't need it. You can go to your regular bird dogs. I love a regular bird dog. But anywho, I'm going to give you a little example of what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to plant that ball under the hand that's going to be planted onto the ground during my bird dog. And I will bring my left arm in and my right leg in, and then I'll extend everything out nice and long. And then for the pulse, that's what that'll look like. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side and show you what that'll look like, just because sometimes having a visual can be helpful. So that's what that side's going to look like. And now we're going to go and find 5 on one side, 5 on the other, and pulse for 5. So let's go on ahead and get into position, tabletop motion, and we'll bring everything in and extend out for 1. And we'll bring it in and extend out nice and long for 2. And we'll bring it in and extend out opposite sides as long as you can for 3. And back in and extend out for 4. And when we come out this time, we're going to pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll bring it back in and we'll come to the other side. So we'll plant that left hand down. We'll bring the right arm in and the left leg in, and then we'll extend everything in the opposite direction to find 1, bring it back in, and we'll come out to find 2, and back in and find 3, and back in and extend out for 4. And we're going to come in, and this time when we go out, we're going to pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring everything back in. Take a little breath, and then we're going to go into our last set of movement for this workout. My dog kind of showed up and just wanted to make himself seen. I get it. I like to be seen too. His name is Tipperton. Anywho, we're going to do another minute and 30 seconds of planking. We will find a low hold here. after we do a couple cat and cow breaths, of course, or a child's pose, whatever you prefer. But we'll go into a 30-second low hold, and then we'll do 1 minute of a high plank where we do 30 seconds of in and outs with those toe taps, and then 30 seconds of those shoulder taps. So find your breath, find that headspace, get ready for this. We are ready. You're so strong. We can do it. Oh, look at that. I even threw in a little down dog. Awesome. So we are going to come to that low plank now, and we're going to hold for 30 seconds. Let's stick those feet back and let's get into it. We're here for 30 seconds. Once again, make sure that you pay attention to your body here. Focus on you don't have your shoulders all up in your ears. Your jaw's not overly tense. You're still breathing. Make sure you're still breathing. And just kind of find something to get you through the last little section of this workout that you have going on here. We are going to be going up to a high plank in just a moment, and we'll go into those alternating in and out taps. So, just find a beat, find something to get you through. Stay in a positive headspace. You're so strong. We only have 1 minute here. You would be surprised the amount of things that if you actually convince yourself you could do it for a whole minute. It's just a minute. It's honestly like 45 seconds at this point. So you've got this. We're in those in and outs. We're tapping. And in just a second, we're going to plant those feet nice and wide. It'll give us some good stability. And then we'll go into those alternating shoulder taps. So we'll plant those feet wide in just a moment. Here we go. And we're tapping. We have the right arm going to the left shoulder and the left arm going to the right shoulder. And we're going from side to side. But let's try to keep that body as still as possible. Maybe not the body going as much from side to side, but just kind of the shoulders tapping from side to side. Well, it's the hands tapping the shoulders. But anywho, in just a second, we will be done with this set of movement, and you will pretty much be done with your workout. If you include the stretch part of your workout, then we're not done. But the stretch is optional. It's all optional. You have free will. Anywho, but we're going to find a down dog, and we're going to find our breath. We have completed our exercises. Pedal those feet out, do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to sit down, do a forward fold. If you want to go ahead and get into a child's pose, do whatever. I encourage you, just find some nice restorative rest right now. Do literally anything other than just kind of like lay on the ground and like breathe in and out of your mouth. Just like anything but that. You're better than that. I love you, and I just want you to be better than that. Anywho, I've been there, and I feel so much better after my workouts when I end like this than when I'm just laying on the ground trying to find my breath. So anywho, if you like this video, and if you enjoyed the vibes, subscribe. I'd adore that. But I hope you have a great day. Bye.